A portion of this podcast is brought to you by my friends at Polar Bear Plumbing, Heating, and Air. Polar Bear Plumbing, Heating, and Air, it's so great to know they're available at any time. Maybe you got a nighttime emergency. They've got a wonderful crew, and they're going to get out there and take care of it. Clogged toilet? Take care of it. Clogged shower. I have long hair, like really long hair, and I constantly am clogging that drain. Ryan, you love that. And one thing that Ryan absolutely despises doing is cleaning out the hair, which I should be doing it, but you do it, but you don't have to do it anymore because as disgusting as it is, they're only professionals at Polar Bear Plumbing, Heating, and Air. So they will come out and they will clean it out and they won't be judgy.
Can I tell you, the technician who came out
Caleb Hart
was the nicest person I've ever met in my life.
Literally so sweet. And they just hire the best of the best when it comes to people. So I have no problem anytime someone is talking about maybe they got some issues with their air conditioner, they're worried about this summer coming up, or maybe they have a plumbing problem and they don't know what to do. I love being able to tell them about the folks at Polar Bear Plumbing, Heating, and Air. They are family owned and operated, like the best family. So great. They're locally owned and operated, which is important. You want to talk to somebody right here and not get put through a call center where you don't even understand what the person's saying. And they are veteran owned and operated. That's the triple threat, y'all. So why not write down their info? PolarBearPHA.com. That's PolarBearPHA.com. A proud sponsor of the podcast.
I'm going to say the thing you're not supposed to say.
Let's talk about marriage.
They have like a 2-second rebound rate and you're back doing the next pain in the ass thing.
Parenting. Oh my gosh.
They have sucked the pretty right out of me. They treat me like it, and I do their laundry. Lucky me.
Sex.
I'm caught between two evils. I generally like to take the one I never tried.
Scary stuff like ghosts. I know it's totally out of left field, but just go with me on this.
Boo, you whore.
Love.
I give you what you need. That's all. I'm talking about taking care of each other the best you can. What's wrong with taking care of a woman? She takes care of you.
Friendships.
Wink and her necklace says best friends forever.
Actually, you want it to say forever? I don't think you guys will be best friends forever, no offense. But sometimes you grow apart and maybe she'll find a new best friend. They end up doing everything together.
You know what? I'm just going to let it go. I'm just going to let it go.
Because it doesn't matter. You shouldn't care.
I read something yesterday and I was like, wow, this is really profound. And it said, in 3 generations, no one will even remember you or anything you did. Honestly, if you think about it.
In 3 or 4 years, nobody will remember you. I mean, it doesn't matter. I've really come to that. It just, you say what you want to say. You know, of course, for me being a commissioner, I have social media assets under Commissioner Scott James, and I will post things on there that are political or their opinion, and people just attack. I don't care. And people I know, people that are like shirt tail relations and even quote unquote family, I don't care.
Wow. Did you get to this place because you'd been hurt or disappointed?
Yes,
or
because I used to care, and guess what? Don't care anymore.
Do you think it's an age thing?
Yeah, it is an age thing, and my skin has thickened, so to speak. I don't care.
I feel like I went for a solid 6 or 7 years where I also didn't care. I mean, I was like an elephant. My skin was so thick. And then I don't know what's going on with me lately, but I'm like, so everyone's going to hang out without me. Okay. Screw all of you. And I'm like, good Lord, get control of yourself. What are you, 12?
I don't care. It's just, to me, it's just so much fun to say that. Blast away, spend hours crafting your responses at my post. Just, and gnash your teeth and wring your hands and shake your fist at the heavens. And oh my God, he's the worst, XYZ commissioner, whatever. I don't care.
I'm going to try it right now. I don't care.
See?
I just don't care.
It works when you say I don't care because now you have to believe it. You have to truly not care.
I really do want to get back on the path of not caring about anything because that was to me the path of freedom.
is.
Didn't worry about anything, and I didn't really care. I mean, if you want to talk garbage about me, I was like, what are you going to do? And then I don't know what happened, but I'm going to get back on that. And it's completely a mindset. We were talking about golf the other day and how golf is just such it's in your head. It's a mind game.
Head game.
Yeah. And so I believe that when it comes to like feeling things, it's all in your head if you allow it. That's why this Mel Robbins let them theory is catching on like wildfire amongst middle-aged women like myself, because it's a good reminder to just let them do what they want to do. But I don't know. I need to work on that. It's somewhere along the way. I feel like I lost that and I don't know how to find it again.
Well, watch more about Robin's videos and then just say, I don't care.
I know. I feel like I'm going to be the flip side of Mel Robbins. And instead of let them, I'm going to write a book called I Don't Give a Shit. And it's going to be a little bit more crass, but it's going to be about the same message, only it's going to be real. You know what I'm talking about? I think I got a book in me. It's just I got to find it somewhere, and all this self-doubt. Do you have self-doubt about things?
Do I?
Yes.
I used to. And if I were to truly be honest, I still do on some things have self-doubt. I think that makes you human. But the older I get, the more I just don't care. And I'm old and I don't care. There you go.
I mean, again, this thing at 3 generations, and I think 3 generations, I don't know who my relatives were. I don't know what my great, great, great grandfather, I don't know anything about that. So it's true. What does it even matter when in 3 generations, no one's going to remember you? No one. I mean, it's a hard realization to make, but I've been having some deep thoughts lately and I don't know. I think it's kind of mind blowing to think that you just think the world revolves around you. And I'm speaking for myself. And then to realize that's not true. No one will one day remember you, what you achieved, how much money you had. I mean, unless you are, Thomas Jefferson or somebody that truly does something that's widely known, no one's going to remember us. And
when you get even to my age, then what I call the invisibility starts kicking in.
Yeah, my mom used to always say that, where she's like, one day you just become invisible.
You do. When people your age and younger, 20s, 30s, early 40s, when you see somebody my age, early 60s on up, we're invisible. It's like we are invisible.
What are you talking about? You wouldn't be invisible. I don't think older people are invisible. Like, in what sense? Give me like an example of how that happens.
There's a doddering old guy, and I can't get anything out of him for my career. I don't find him attractive. That person doesn't impact me in one way or another. And so I'm going to move on and find younger people who are more relevant to me. That person is invisible.
I feel like this is a sore spot for you.
It was, and then I find comfort in the invisibility.
Really? That's really profound.
I just came back from a 2-day conference I was at the Energy and Environment Symposium that they have of all places over in Rifle, which is beautiful. I love that, that Rifle, silt, basalt area kind of once you get on west out of Vail and headed towards Grand Junction. I just think that area is, when you get along the Colorado River there, it's so beautiful. Now, that said, I was at this conference and there is a ton of local government folks. That's me. A lot of regulatory folks out of the state agencies. And then a lot of the folks that are in the business, in the oil and gas exploration business, production and exploration and midstream and blah, 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 blah. And so they were all going to parties and doing the happy hour things, as you often do at these kind of events. And, I had people that with great organizations and folks that I want to connect with and all that stuff. Well, we're hosting a happy hour tonight at 8:30. 8:30?
Oh, I thought you were going to say you don't get invited. I'm like, that's rough if they're straight telling you and then they're like, bye.
20 years ago, I would have fallen over myself to make sure I'm at one of those events because, oh my gosh, I got to be seen and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
30? No, I'm going back to my room and I'm going to bed. I'm going to talk to my wife for a half an hour and I'll be asleep by 9. You're welcome.
That sounds so good. And I agree. There's not one person nor a party that I want to stay up for. The other day, I am learning how to say no.
Oh,
and I'm not doing that thing anymore where I'm like, yeah. And then later I'm like, my cat threw up. I'm just not doing that anymore. I'm being honest. Anyway, so my friend called me the other day and she's like, listen, a bunch of moms are going to Denver because there is a big bingo party. And this is huge. They've got confetti and they've got people dress up and it's, you play bingo and it's a big deal. And then she's like, and we're going to get 2 hotel rooms. I'm talking about like 8 women, 2 hotel rooms. Do you want to come? And you know what? I immediately said, no. And it wasn't because I don't like these women, because they are charming and I enjoy speaking to all of them. But I just knew this is one of those things where it's going to get to the day before. It's going to get to the day of. And I'm going to be like, oh, my God, what was I doing? I have to sleep in a room with people I kind of hardly know. And to me, staying in a hotel. But then I thought, how rude would that be if I was like, you guys have fun. I'm getting my own room and I'm going to bed at 9, because they were like staying up till midnight partying. I don't have it in me. So I just from the beginning said, honestly, no, thank you. Thank you for the invite. But I just think that would be too overwhelming for me. And it would. There were sparklers and lasers and shit. And I was just like, I can't do that. And so I'm proud of myself.
For me, at this little event, I was invited by somebody who works with a very important firm, and geez, it's great to have a connection with her and all that kind of thing. But an 8:30 happy hour, thank you, but no, thank you. You and I can connect over coffee maybe sometime. And
can I tell you, by 8:30, I want to be digesting my dinner.
Not having another cocktail.
Not having a cocktail. 8:30. Plus, I would never get to sleep. Forget about these wild and crazy kids. Soon, I'm going to be invisible too, and that's okay.
What exciting happened in your life?
Okay, so.
You mean you've got something?
No, hang on. I'm trying to think. I was like, oh, that's going to the Dollar Tree. That ain't very exciting. It's exciting to me. I don't even care.
Did you see the United flight from Denver to Edmonton had to make an emergency landing on Sunday?
I did. And I'm really wondering what's going on with the whole airplanes, helicopter. What is going on these days? It's like every week there's a plane tips over, a plane lights on fire, a plane falls apart.
Here's the audio. Literally, as this person's sitting kind of right back behind the wing, and the thing's like belching out balls of fire.
You're like, bing.
It's like the entire inside of the cabin. And it's like somebody's sitting on the wing throwing balls of fire. And whenever one spits out, it lights up the entire cabin. And some of those people are sitting there yelling. They're trying to get the flight attendant's attention, going, fire, fire. Seems to me if somebody yelling fire in the cabin, the flight attendant would kind of get attention right away. Shortly after the flight took off, the 153 passengers on board heard a loud bang, felt a significant vibration, and outside the window, there were blasts of fire coming from one of the plane's engines. The pilots got the plane down safely after roughly 75 minutes in the air. Again, sometimes these pilots to me are heroes that they're able to do this kind of stuff. Passengers a bit shaken. Naturally, nobody was injured at all. It's unclear exactly what happened, but authorities believe, get this, a rabbit either jumped or was sucked into the right engine while the plane was on the ground, and it caused it to backfire during the climb out of Denver.
Could you even imagine being on that plane and just knowing there's balls of fire everywhere? That's just insanity to me. I would I would cry. I can't believe, thank God, no, it didn't explode altogether.
The pilot even said, rabbit through the number 2. That'll do it.
Calm and collected.
These pilots are amazing. If you listen to some of those cockpit recordings, it's like, we're on fire. Attention, flight
249 over. We got a tail fire going on. Alpha 1.
And they're not losing their minds.
I know. I would be fainting, waking up. We all see those videos of people on roller coasters and faint and wake up. That'd be me.
I try to put myself in that situation of, I'd like to try to ride over the wing because I like to try to get an exit seat. Those are the roomy seats. So a lot of times you could look right down. Yep, there's the engine. There's the engine. And if I'm at the window seat, that engine is 4 or 5 foot from me. And it is cranking out how many pounds of thrust and spinning how many RPMs. And there's that engine right there just chugging away doing its job. And I'm 4 feet from it. Have you ever sat like right next to the engine?
I have. That's the emergency area where they have to give you a special talk. And you're going to get some extra leg room. But, when the shit hits the fan, you got to really step up and be like, oh, God, I guess I have to help people. Ryan, would you say it's time for me to get a trim in my hair? Like, have you looked at it and been like, damn, you look raggedy?
No, if anything, I've looked at it and been like, damn, she looks good.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Because when I look in the mirror, I see that my roots have grown out. I see I have split ends. That is so nice of you to say, though. I'm just going to digress. How sweet of you. But I don't know. I look at myself in a different way, and I'm a little bit more critical. I know that my hair could be in such better shape. I know it. But I need that professional help of Christiana Salon Spa to kind of guide me. What products do I need? How do I brush my hair the correct way? Curling it, you're such not a girl, Sadie. Let's show you how to do it. They are always so great, and you're going to get just amazing customer service there. So go see my friend Chris at Christiana Salon Spa. Obviously, she's the owner if you didn't put that together. And keep listening here to the podcast because we are giving away gift certificates to Christiana Salon Spa. Christiana Salon Spa, a proud sponsor of the podcast. But yeah, that's right over the engine, isn't it?
So you try to put yourself in that. That's one of the places I like to sit. And there's the engine, and it's right there, and it's comforting to me. See, that's the engine. And if there were fire coming out of it, how would I react? Some people in the background of this video, you can hear them. They're screaming like, "We're all gonna die!" And somebody else is going, "Fire." The engine's on fire.
I don't want to freak anybody out. I don't want to be a problem. I'm one of those people that I get uncomfortable if I have to ask for like extra dressing for my salad at a restaurant. So I would probably just watch the fire grow and be one of those people that's like, excuse me.
Engine's on fire, please.
Yeah.
All right. Here is a Port St. Lucie, Florida, which I was looking at here the other day. Might be a nice place to retire. Port St. Lucie, Florida. A bride was caught doing 105 miles an hour on the way to her wedding. Here's the audio.
Whose wedding is it?
It's mine.
What time is it?
It's 2:30.
Where at?
It's Florida at the courthouse.
Hey, you're already late.
We're trying to get
Just give me a minute. I'll let you take her, but I'm going to give you a court date.
He's going to let her take her. It wasn't even the bride that was driving, but she was sitting there right next to the driver, full blown in her dress. And that woman was late. That cop was like, look, I'm going to give you a ticket and you're going to have to go to court because this is a mandatory appear, but you go ahead and get on your wedding. That's a pretty nice police officer. When you're going that fast, they can put the cuffs on you, take you in.
Yeah, but he still wrote a ticket. I mean, as a wedding gift, couldn't he have been like, all right, dummies, don't do that anymore. Like, slow down. And why would you be late to your own wedding? Do you know anyone who's ever done that?
That's the question I would ask. Apparently, they talked to the bride later. Yeah, she just didn't know how far away this place was and how long it was going to take her to get there. Seems to me that, if you're sitting someplace a day or two in advance or even, several hours in advance, you might want to get your phone up and put it into maps and say, oh, it's going to take me 49 minutes to get there. That means I better leave about an hour early.
Something tells me she got wasted the night before her wedding and woke up asking what time it was. I have something else to tell you.
Go.
Okay. So there's this thing. I don't want to explain it too much because it sounds crazy. We call it the flux capacitor. My parents met this man and he makes these frequency things. Woo, woo. And it's actually, well, let me see. I put the thing. Nope, I don't have it. It's like this. It helps with anything that's ailing you, right? Okay. And you sit in front of it and it goes bzzz, and you just stare at it. I don't know. It's worked miracles for my sister who has had these crazy problems, like physically, and her health she's been in and out of the hospital a lot for the past 3 years. And so she found this guy and my parents went up and he does it for free. And he'll do a treatment on you and you go up and I don't know how to explain it. That's not even the important part.
No, I'm fascinated by the flux capacitor. You got to. So supposedly, does it utilize like electronic waves?
It does, yes. Like it
and frequency thing, right? Like a radio frequency deal, or
yes, 1,000%. That's what it is, and it's supposed to help with any health issues that you would have. And I try not to talk about it because my mom's afraid the government's listening all the time. And I'm like, Mom, they're not going to come. Anyway, my parents rented one. And, my mom is the funniest person I think that I know. She truly is just a hoot.
But I don't think it intends to be funny is the thing.
She's a tad negative sometimes. And so I'll go up and do a treatment because they rented a machine. So I'll go to my parents 3 times this week. I went up and I sat in front of this machine while it did the radio, like the waves, wee, and the frequency is supposed to kind of center you and heal whatever. So if it's depression, if it's anxiety, those are the things that I don't have a physical ailment. My dad, listen to how crazy this is. My dad's been deaf for so long. And he can hear again, Scott. I shit you not. He sits in front of this thing every morning and he can hear again. He said, I can hear clearly.
Where can I buy one of these?
Well, I know it's insane. And if anyone wants to know, just reach out and I will tell you there's a place in Greeley you can rent them and they're packed in there. Everybody wants one of these machines and they offer them in a lot of spas and stuff. But anyway. My dad, it's been miraculous for my dad. It's been miraculous for my sister, like I said. And me, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go up there and I'm going to center myself. So like I said, I felt a little lost. All of a sudden, I care what people think. It's a mess. So I need to get back to square one. So I go and I love going, but then my mom sits with me and then I'm like, all right, positive vibes, literally. The vibes are coming at me and I'm going to make positive. And my mom's like, so-and-so's dying. Like, oh, okay. And then I start focusing again and I'm like, positivity, balance, positivity. And she's like, we only have a few more years to live. Like she just keeps.
So why is she wasting time sitting in front of this damn machine then? I mean,
because it's a cure-all for everything, but it's not a cure-all for death. You can't, not die. And I'm like, Mom, I'm here for the positive vibes, and you are just everything negative. And then it's like a little bit of time will pass, and I'll be like, let's just enjoy this quiet moment, and we'll sit there, and then she'll be like, have you woken up yet to the government? Like back to reality. And this machine is insane, but I feel like I'm never going to get centered ever again. But is this something you would try, Scott?
Yes.
Right? I mean, like, I feel like explaining it sounds crazy, but I also think, what does it hurt? Okay, it hurt. What does it hurt to go for 15 minutes, sit in front of this machine, and it gets the brain waves and the waves all a going, and it could cure amazing things. It can do amazing things, and my mom is sure that the government's in on it, and so it's an interesting thing that we've got going on.
I have a heavy distrust of the government, especially the feds. But
That's why my mom doesn't want to know we have this machine.
But I'm not that wingy about it yet. I mean, if they got the machine, of course, then again, she would have to be more fearful of big pharma being out to off who's ever making these machines.
Well, so anyway, so my mom was like, you can't tell. Well, she didn't say you can't tell anybody, but she's like, we don't want a lot of people to know. Oh, shit. I'm sorry, Mom and Dad, now that I'm going back. But she's like, we don't want the government to find out. This is a miracle. And we have found, and I'm incredibly inspired by it because I'm literally seeing like health changes in them. And it's just.
It's in Greeley because, I work in Greeley. I mean, I can stop by my lunch hour or something like that.
There's a packet that my mom gave me. And yes, and it's all. I don't even know how to explain it. Reach out if anybody really wants to know about it. But my dad's like, you know what? What does it hurt? If you're hurting in any way, if you're in a depression, if you have cancer, diabetes. I mean, I'm not saying it's a cure-all, nor can they say that. But I'm saying I physically am watching two people go from being deaf to being able to hear. And someone who has had, my sister, what's wrong with her is she's had an abscess and it won't go away. And so she has to constantly go in for pain. She leaks pus out of this abscess. They've cleaned it out 1,000,000 times. She's been to so many surgeons, so many doctors. No one could figure out what's going on. Well, we don't know. If it gets into her bloodstream, that's going to be a bad thing. And let me tell you, she rented one too. She sits in front of it every day, and that abscess is about gone.
I want one.
I want one too.
All right, here's Time Magazine's 100 most influential people of the year. Let's close this out here. Artists include Ed Sheeran, Scarlett Johansson, Kristen Bell, Adam Scott, Rashida Jones, Kristen Wiig. Some of these names I don't even know.
I know all of them.
As far as icons, whatever that is, Demi Moore, Eagle star Jalen Hurts, Adrian Brody. Well, these are just more pop culture types.
Yeah, and that's why I think it's stupid. You know who else made the list? Blake Lively. And you know how I feel about her. I talk to you all the time when you're in meetings. I'll text him and go, did you hear what's going on with Blake Lively? And he's in like a road meeting for Law 212.
Leaders on the list. President Donald Trump, Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum, Keir Starmer, Elon Musk on the list. Vice President J.D. Vance, Megyn Kelly, and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Interesting. Titans. What are Titans? How
many letters? Okay, so there's icons, there's Titans, there's important people. Keep going.
Titans include Serena Williams, Blake Lively, Lauren Michaels.
Titans, Blake. This is dumb.
I know you're going to rage against Blake Lively anymore. Netflix CEO Ted Sarandos, Joe Rogan, Mark Zuckerberg. Is there anybody on that list that I truly think is making a difference in society? I would say certainly the leaders are. I would say that Joe Rogan has made a difference in society. Mark Zuckerberg's on the list. He's made a difference. But is there anybody?
How does he stand next to like a really crappy actress? You know what I mean? Like, that's insane. Joe Rogan has the most popular podcast ever. He pretty much invented it. And then you got Mark Zuckerberg, who created Facebook, which everybody and their dog uses for the most part. And then you got Blake Lively, who's like at best D-list. I don't know. It's suspicious. You know, as I get older, I really have an eagle eye for things that maybe I didn't even look at when I was younger. I can guarantee I didn't look at this stuff when I was younger, but now I can tell you that I am officially obsessed with garage doors. I look at them when we drive in neighborhoods. I like to look at what kind of garage doors are out there. And you know what else? I am so jealous of people who have garage doors that are like, instead of sliding glass doors, boring, thumbs down. We all got them. Nobody wants them. You can get one of those garage doors that go up and down, and they're glass. They're so cool, so stunning, and I am truly obsessed. But let me digress here and tell you about my friends at Garage Door Service and Sales. These guys have been Really ride or die. I've been doing endorsements for them for almost 20 years. They are wonderful, wonderful people. And if you don't believe me, which I hope you do, but if for some reason you don't believe me, all you got to do is go on and look at the ratings and the reviews of the service, and you're going to be blown away. So whether you want a brand new bougie garage door, or maybe there's something wrong with your garage door you have and you just want to get it fixed. It's a spring. It's a really loud motor. It won't open or close at all. You got to call my friends at Garage Door Service and Sales. They cover all the bases for not only homeowners, but for business owners as well. So if you got big jobs, they'll take care of you as well. Or if you got something small, again, like a spring, they're going to take care of you. It's GarageDoorServiceandSales.com. Garage Door Service and Sales is a proud sponsor of the podcast.